only 7% of our communication is done through words. 38% tone of voice and 55% is body language. Now, when I read about this, it reminded me about this experiment that was done in the late 1970s. It was an interaction between an infant and its mother. Now, there was two scenarios. One is where the mother was very smiley and warm and responsive to when the baby pointed at something. The mother looked to see, like, oh wow, look at what you see, and I see it too. And the baby was cooing and happy. And then we had the same two individuals, the baby and its mother. The other scenario where the child was trying to make communicative expressions and sounds to its mother, and the mother's face was still. So it's called the still face experiment, and it made the baby cry. It was very upsetting. Now you can imagine implications here. It's not only about having a still face versus having a loving face. There's so many different expressions, countless, infinite, I would say, ways to express your emotions through paralanguage. Think about it. The implications are huge. Can you imagine when a baby has to go in for its shots and it sees the face of its mother, and first it experiences this little sharp pain, it cries, and then it sees its mother's face, and what is that face conveying to the child? It makes me wonder how much we traumatize our children in ways that we don't even really think about or notice, because to us it's not what we think of, only what we're saying with words, and we don't really always notice how we're behaving. Kids are so sensitive to all of our expressions. In fact, I work with kids, I also work with their parents, and I coach parents just as much, if not more, than my own students, the kids, because a lot of times parents will say, well, my kid is really frustrated. And I know how these scenarios go. A lot of times it is the parent that is frustrated, and they might not say it in words to their child who's maybe struggling or just having resistance towards their practice. And the parent maybe inhales the wrong way or pauses for a slight moment too long in their reaction to the child. And somehow that's going to convey meaning beyond just words that are spoken. And as far as the example I gave with the vaccines, this is maybe far-fetched. I don't think so, but I think about these things a lot, and there's so much overlap in how people's symptoms, how do I put this? I'll just say it. There's a lot of overlap in the symptoms between ADHD, autism, and CPTSD, or even PTSD. Okay, it's worth considering what things are attributable to what underlying cause. I do think that our bodies express their traumas in a multitude of different ways. It's just food for thought. I'm not an expert. I just think a lot on these things. Curious to know if anyone has any insight on this.